Hi everyone, I'm Mason Rashtian of the Mason Law Firm. Today I want to talk about pedestrian accidents. Unfortunately, injuries from these accidents can be very severe, and these accidents often occur even when pedestrian has done everything right and nothing wrong. If you are a pedestrian walking on the sidewalk, crossing the street, or walking in the parking lot, you have the right to be safe. But unfortunately, drivers sometimes are distracted or using their phone or just not paying attention and strike a pedestrian, and that causes serious injuries. How do they usually happen? Well, in a parking lot, sometimes the driver is driving too fast, goes around the corner without paying attention, or is backing out of a parking stall and hits a pedestrian who's just simply walking by. Sometimes a driver arrives at an intersection and rolls right through it without stopping, and in the process strikes a pedestrian, or the driver fails to look to his or her right before trying to make a right-hand turn and strikes a pedestrian. Sometimes they rush through and make a left-hand turn without noticing that there's already a person in the crosswalk and again strike that pedestrian. Many times pedestrian accidents occur because drivers are not paying attention to the road or are simply driving too fast. So when somebody comes out from behind a vehicle, they have no chance of stopping before striking the pedestrian. That's why it's very important, especially in school districts and areas where kids are known to be commonly around, to slow down, because a kid could come out of nowhere and get in front of your vehicle and you can strike him or her. Of course, insurance companies always try to blame the pedestrian for these accidents. They'll say, oh, the pedestrian came out of nowhere and the driver didn't have a chance to stop. Or the person was not inside a crosswalk when they were struck. It is important to note that in California, unmarked crosswalks are the same as crosswalks, which means you have to yield the right of way to pedestrians who are crossing the street. Because a pedestrian is no match for a moving vehicle, the injuries could be severe. They could include fractures, they could include head injuries, they could include other injuries that may need a lifetime treatment. If you're a pedestrian in an accident, it is very important that you be checked out right away. So you could call 911, have them come by. You could go to urgent care if you're able to, or the emergency room. But it's very important that you seek medical treatment immediately after being hit by a moving vehicle. If you or a loved one has been injured in a pedestrian accident, please give us a call and we'll make sure we do everything to protect your rights and get you the proper treatment that you need. My name is Mason Rashtian, and we meet our clients by accident.